We're going to do a quick update here on CBS, and then we're going to go to our stream for another few minutes. I want to give you another update. We have these strong showers and storms. The strongest is over the Delaware Bay right now, but this is heading toward Cape May. And I got to tell you, we're monitoring the situation in Dover, and it is not good. There is damage all over the place from a confirmed tornado on the ground. The video starting to come in, and so we're just continuing to get that information. When it comes to the watches and warnings at this particular time, here's what we have right now. The yellow is the tornado watch. We have the severe thunderstorm warning. That's the gold. That is for southern parts of Atlantic County, all of Cape May, and a good portion of Cumberland. South of Millville, basically from Millville and Vineland south, includes Cape May, does not include Atlantic City, and then areas off to the south. I wouldn't be surprised if the National Weather Service made this into a tornado warning as it crosses over the bay. A lot to cover. If you want more on this, we're going to continue on our stream. We'll have another update here at 7:30. All right, guys, so let's continue on with this. So, like I said, there is a lot of information coming down from Dover. Here's a new one that just came down. This is in Queen Anne's County across the river, where the downed tree took down a power pole and wires in Meridell, Maryland. Lots of branches, 2 feet in diameter down. That's huge. I mean, the reports are now just coming in. But when we look at the radar, this is what it looks like around the region. And all threats, especially at this point in Cumberland and Cape May County, all the threats are in play. We have flash flood warnings, with some of the labels considerable flash flood warnings for Kent County. We have flash flood warnings up in this region. We have flash flood warnings over the city. We have the lightning, the strong winds. We have the tornado risk. It's all there. It's all there. I'm going to track this out for you, give a fresh one. In Cape May County, you're starting to see the rain enter over the bay and get onto land right now. But what I want to do is I'm going to sample this from the strongest part of the storm, and that's right here where all this lightning is. So let's drape on down. This isn't when it's going to start raining. This is a sample of when you might see the strongest of the weather over your home, over your, actually right now, tornado warning, Atlantic County. Like I said, Dwayne, jump on air, let me know. Folks on the stream, give me a minute. We're going to jump on air, and then we'll continue on. Control room, you want me to just break for a sec? Stand by, thank you.
Here, this one. This one.
All right, guys, sorry, jumping right back in. As anticipated, the National Weather Service just issued a tornado warning for Cape May County. And this is from a part of this storm that has had a history of a tornado. It includes areas of Cumberland County, but a majority of you folks in Cumberland are not under this, even though your phone may be showing you that warning. It goes up into Atlantic County and a northern section of Cape May County. Not in Cape May right now, not in Wildwood, but we have another warning that we are watching very closely. I want to go down and look at the velocity data. This is a look at the storm, and then I'm going to read that warning. It's right here, just outside of Dennis, right at the line. The National Weather Service is warning this part of the storm right here. Norman's Mill, that's where we're going to see that. I'm going to read what the warning says so you guys can plan, and then I will track it out for you. This is issued at just within the last minute. It's southwestern Atlantic County. I went through all that. It's a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado. It's 13 miles southeast of Millville, moving to the north at 20 miles per hour. Not a confirmed tornado on the ground, which we've had a history of in Dover, and the reports coming in where it's not good. There's a lot of damage going on right there. But yeah, right in this part that I was talking about, we're going to sample this out. Grant, you can come on in if you want. Do you have information?
Well,
over there?
no, just looking at the storm and kind of comparing it to where it was coming from. And this is, like you said, all part of the same cell that had the history of producing the tornado in the Dover area. We're just getting some pictures and some videos from Dover. This is all part of the same broad rotation, so no doubt a serious threat as this storm moves in.
Absolutely, and this is a fresh sample at 20 miles per hour. Just put it on there for you. We're looking at Warner's Mill, 718 at 704 right now. Corbin City, 724. Oakville, 731, 736, Steel Mill Landing, and English Creek at 741. If you're hearing the name of your town, then you're in the area that has that warning out. We need you to get to the center of your home, lowest level of your home. If you're in an apartment, get to the lowest level. Mobile homes are not safe places to be. This could be a potentially dangerous.
Well, and even Dennis, Dennis, you're south of that immediate rotation there, but even the community
Strong
of Dennis,
winds.
Strong winds, exactly, coming in, actually feeding into that rotation that could produce that tornado.
Absolutely, and the warning at this point up until 7:30 from the National Weather Service, and we're just to the point now we're starting to get a lot of these damage reports, and I want you to take this seriously because this storm has created a ton of damage, and it has that history of the tornado on the ground, and there's other parts, the lightning too. That's not a severe component necessarily. We don't have a lightning warning, for example, but there have been an amazing amount of lightning strikes, which by itself is incredibly dangerous.
And not just tree damage, but structural damage that we've seen where sides of buildings have been sheared apart from these winds and other debris. This is back in Dover, not specifically with this storm here, but just to give you an indication of the intensity and the seriousness of these storms moving through. And this could be independent of that tornado threat, but also just that broader severe wind threat.
And look at this line. I got to say, the models did a very good job over the last 24 to 48 hours indicating this broad line through now in the 7 o'clock hour, all South Jersey and Delaware. The threat is over for you folks in Philly and areas to the west, so that's good. But if you're ahead of this or in it, this is where we are dealing with some very, very strong storms at this moment. This line, one of the stronger ones we've seen, at least in my recollection, this year with this confirmation, certainly what we're seeing in Dover.
We've seen several threats. We've seen several rounds of severe weather. Now, the microburst that we had last month.
Yeah, Saturday, I believe that was.
Right, that was a little bit of a different situation in terms of the broad strength of this storm. In fact, Bill, if you turn off the lightning, I know we like to see the lightning, and then you track this back into time and you see how this whole cell and this whole broader line developed. You can see how it started back in Dover about an hour ago, and then it just
there,
and then that's where it produced the tornado. Moved across the bay and now is moving through Cumberland over into the northern Cape May County.
And getting stronger. I have this set back for the last couple of hours. If we go back even 1 hour ago, you have some very heavy rain, but look at the way this is coming together. I'm a little concerned for places like Cape May, Strathmere, Avalon, Sea Isle, as this storm is for the straight line winds. If you're not in the tornado warning, I don't want you to think, okay, the guard is that Strathmere camera? That's what you're saying? Okay, you see that dark sky there as we're looking away from this, because you just have very, very strong winds, straight line winds, and you have some rotation that's there as well.
Coming off the bay, very little friction, right? So those winds are real, pure, just strong winds coming right off the bay.
And there's that definition of a shelf cloud that we were talking about. We're looking over the bay. That, at least from my vantage point, looks like a crystal clear, well-defined shelf cloud, unless I'm just not seeing it right. What do you see?
That's what so you're looking down at the Cape May Lighthouse. So you're looking a little bit south-southwest, and that's exactly what you're seeing. You're looking out over the bay on the other side of the lighthouse there.
Like along, and that would go right in line with the radar like right here. That's what, and a shelf cloud is basically the way I always visualize it, almost like a bulldozer that's going, it's relatively cool air because of the rain-cooled air that then scoops up the warm, humid air right ahead of it, and you get this lowering right in front. It almost looks like an alien spaceship that's moving through, and whenever you see that, you have gusty winds, you have very strong winds and heavy rain behind that, and oftentimes frequent lightning as well. That tornado, is that a new tornado warning?
Looked like maybe an update to the current tornado.
Okay, yeah, so we got that. And then, of course, you have all the lightning behind this, which is an indication that storm is very strong. So if nothing else, some very strong winds.
Unless that may be a new tornado warning specifically
look at it right now.
Cape May,
Let's see what we got.
They may.
Oh no, that's and it's purple. So let's read this, because that's an indication that there has been a confirmed tornado. And I'm going to read it here on the air and see if this is what they were talking about because it was confirmed already over in the water spout, which we didn't mention.
Right, yeah. So what you're seeing here in this purple polygon is a confirmed tornado. National Weather Service issuing this tornado warning. That goes until 7:30. So this is going to rip right across southern Cape May. Exactly what we were just showing you in that camera view. So if we could go back to the Cape May Lighthouse camera, guys.
Because I'll read this while we're doing that. It was at 7:07, it's 7:09 right now. A water spout was located just offshore over North Cape May or near Cape May, moving to the east at 45 miles per hour. So, you know,
right.
probably right there is what we're looking at. We're a little far from the radar, but that's most likely what we are looking at right there, North Cape May. If that's the case, and this is moving, I'm going to do something a little bit different here. I'm going to put on this, basically this arrow, and then we can just guide North Cape May. This is a minute from now, right? I mean, that thing's moving fast. We're going back to that same viewpoint. If you look at it closely, can we see the water spout there in the?
Can we take that full?
Take that full,
guys,
please.
Great.
Is it there,
Look
to the left of the lighthouse, maybe?
Look to the left of the lighthouse. Yeah, that's what I saw too.
This is a very dangerous situation. If you are anywhere in Cape May, you have a warning, and you literally have minutes until this storm is going to be onshore, if minutes. I mean, we're going to watch this thing move in real time, and like if I take it over to Wildwood, it's 10 minutes. You know, it's pretty remarkable. We're just gonna leave this image up the entire time. Let's just leave this up. I want you to get into the center part of your house, the lowest level. If maybe you're down in Cape May, you've rented, this was your weekend that you had a beach house, and a lot of times the beach houses, they're beautiful. They might be 3 stories, and you might have a roof deck or something like that. Get to that lowest level. There's not going to be a basement. You don't have basements there right by the ocean, of course, but get to that lowest level, as many walls between you and the outside as possible. I mean, absolute textbook shelf cloud right there. And then there's going to be some spin, and there's going to be a tornado with that as well.
You're probably going to start, likely a wall cloud in there.
Yeah.
Right? So you're probably going to start to see the whole cloud, which would otherwise be a shelf cloud, but the wall cloud itself.
Also, I want to point out, if we're not already, can we keep this camera up in TOC and roll video on this as well, and then we can time lapse that later on tonight. Yeah. It'll be really interesting to see how this whole thing shakes out if we can do that. Thank you. All right, so flying debris going to be dangerous. I'm just reading from the National Weather Service. Cape May, North Wildwood, Wildwood Crest, Avalon, Stone Harbor, Scotch Bonnet, Diamond Beach, Rio Grande, North Cape May, Courthouse, West Wildwood.
I believe that's real close to you got the airport in that area, the Cape May Airport. If you're near that.
Right.
That's just north of there. I think you can see it right there.
Right there.
The airport right there.
Yep. There it is.
Generally probably south is where we're looking at that rotation on the radar, but south of the airport, from the villas down to Cape May Point and Lighthouse, and then across over into downtown Cape May, you got Congress Hall down there and everything.
Absolutely.
Right along the promenade. So anywhere in that vicinity, everybody needs to seek shelter and
this
stay
storm
there.
is moving on right now. I'm going to sample it from. And look at all the lightning, too. I'm going to just go like right here. As we mentioned, it's essentially now, as we move across, within the next couple of minutes. I mean, this thing is moving very fast at an absolute minimum. And, thousands and thousands and thousands of people that are down here. That's a side angle of that as it approaches. You're going to have very strong winds, almost certainly severe thunderstorm speed winds. Incredible amounts of lightning, extraordinarily heavy rainfall, and in parts of that storm, winds that are strong enough to have a spin and rotation, which is going to be an even more isolated pocket that's just going to be, hammering places and causing damage. This, not a good situation at all. We're also getting pictures in from Dover from earlier on, where there was a confirmed tornado. Mm-hmm. We already know there's damage there. This, folks, is the same storm. It's part of that same storm system that moved into and out of Dover, that's rolling across the bay. And those winds already, you see the beach grass there on the dunes. It's already starting to kind of go. You see the rough water, but where that lowering of the cloud, that leading edge, looks like the edge of the spaceship, that is where the winds are really strong, scooping up the warm, humid air, and that's where you're going to be dealing with a lot of those things.
Can we take a look at the velocity?
You bet.
I'm curious to see where that couplet has migrated to.
Yeah, it's not super, I would say, still right here, just basically.
So it's still offshore. So right there at Cape May Beach.
Right.
You got Miami Beach just north of there.
I'm gonna scan that. Let me scan the velocity a little bit. We're a bit far from the radar, so we're looking higher up in the storm.
Do we have the Higbee Beach camera? That might be able to. We could pull that up, guys, because that's going to be over on the bay side,
right,
of Cape May.
And let's look at that. We can look at a couple of other cameras too that we have right there. Yeah,
It should be, yes. Yeah, we just saw lightning there. So technically, actually, the rotation, and there's probably still very much a water spout just off of North Cape May, Cape May Point. Really, I mean, if you're, hopefully everybody is seeking shelter, but if you were out there looking, it's just about to move ashore.
Absolutely.
All right, so we don't have the Higbee Beach camera. This is a good vantage point right now. We're seeing the flashes of the lightning as that cell starts to approach the land. Now, we say it's a water spout, and that sounds harmless, but technically, a water spout over water is still a tornado.
Yeah, and we saw some images of that water spout that were taken by people that it was serious. It wasn't just this. Sometimes water spouts are these like little rope-looking tornadoes that aren't incredibly strong. That one looked a little larger, the one that we were looking at before.
Yeah, if you look closely, you can really see how the clouds are approaching the camera, so you can see how...
With the naked eye, you can see them move, right? We're not seeing it from this vantage point. I'm not seeing that water spout / tornado, but it doesn't mean it's just not on this vantage point.
Now, you're probably more
see.
likely to see it with the lightning. So if there'll be that flash of moment in time, you might see that funnel, if you will, approaching the land. All right, now this is also from, this is at Cape May, right? This is at Cape May Beach? Right.
That's the side view of that. And look at those winds. I mean, and that's just, please, again, folks, if you're just joining us, this is a serious situation. Tornado warning, not just a radar indicated tornado warning, but we have history of a tornado on the ground, history of damage. It's moved over the bay, history of a water spout. You need to take this storm very seriously. I don't want anybody outside. Please do not go outside. I'm glad we're not seeing people out, like going and getting photos of this on the beach, which is great.
I'm glad we've got cameras there that we can show it to you, so you can watch it right here with CBS Philadelphia. We'll walk you through it. We'll show you as much as we can safely, of course, and we want you to be in your safe place because, I mean, like we're showing you, Bill's tracking it out here. This is moving
to Summers Point. That's what we're looking at there. Okay, look at the lightning. I mean, the lightning is prolific. It's just incredible. Hundreds and hundreds of strikes as well. And I'm scanning around. I'm looking at some different things here that we might be able to take a look at, other angles and other cameras. We have that. We're keeping the track. Oh, that's a cancellation of a watch. I heard something. They're tapering off the watch there. So within the next couple of minutes, we're again rattling this off. Wildwood, 5 minutes from now. We got North Wildwood, 7:23. Cape May now. So we do have these areas that are we're just leaving this.
This is the threat area right here.
Yeah.
So here's the threat moving to the east. But even though the threat for the tornado is relatively small, you still have the wind speeds blowing into this rotating thunderstorm that's producing that tornado threat. So a broader area where we could still see some damage. So all the Cape May County needs to be seeking shelter right now, guys.
That's the Higbee Beach camera. We're looking off to the south that you see here. Of course, Cape May is over there. But we're looking at it's just a darker sky there, so I'm going to pull that off the screen. Just so I wanted to take a quick look at that. The lightning, numerous strikes. Let's get another look at the velocity data and see if we can pinpoint this. I mean, we're seeing that velocity right there.
Yeah, so just south of the villas there near Rio Grande, you've got several restaurants in this area here. So if you know somebody that's just going out to dinner right now, maybe they're in the middle of their meal, shoot them a quick text, give them a phone call. Hopefully the restaurant staff is aware of this threat here.
Yeah, and there's a lot of people, of course, down at Wildwood. The good news is there are a lot of structures. There are, like you said, restaurants, hotels, just stuff along the boardwalk or whatever. And as we were mentioning, it's not going to, I mean, how different is that shot than it was even 5 minutes ago? It's not going to be around for the next hour. I mean, this is moving through at 45 miles per hour. So it's going to come in, pretty strong and then leave moderately quickly, at least the strong threat part. But it's going to last in terms of the rain. The lightning is behind it, and there's a lot of it for sure. But the winds and that tornado threat is going to move through rather quickly, which, of course, is helpful.
Tornado warning for Cape May County until 7:30, and then an ongoing tornado warning also for Atlantic, Cape May, and Cumberland counties. So
let's show you that. Let's
different tornado warnings ongoing right now. One in the northern part of the county, one in the southern part of the county.
So these are the two areas that we're focused. The rest of it's a severe thunderstorm warning. So the wind gusts up to 60 miles per hour. We're going to look at the lightning threat and then, of course, flash flooding, which we haven't talked a lot about right now, but the flash flooding, the rainfall that's coming down. Remarkable. I saw one report, at least radar estimate, that was over 7 inches of rainfall just in the last couple of hours.
That's a ton of rainfall.
It's an unbelievable amount of rainfall. Okay, just looking, nothing new from the National Weather Service at this point. Let's go back and get another scan. I mean, we're minutes away from this moving over the ocean.
Right.
But let's go ahead and get another look at the radar. You guys are all under the gun as we speak. The lightning strikes there, by the way, the bright yellows, the bright whites rather, these are the frequent ones. And then we have our system programmed so that over time, over a 15-minute window, they start to fade color. So these darker grays were within the last probably 10 minutes or so until they make
Right. So
work off
the
map.
yellows are the most recent.
Fresh. So it kind of tells you where the storm is as well. So this is what we got. It's over southern Cape May, over the zoo right now.
Toward the boardwalk. over at
Essentially,
Wildwood,
yeah, that's where it is right now. Looking at the velocity data, not picking up as much, but again, we're pretty far away from the radar here, but that's something that
now that
certainly bears
moved
watching.
over land, do you think it's worth looking at the correlation coefficient?
Yeah, let's take a look,
just
sure.
seeing at that, because
Absolutely.
like what we saw with the Dover tornado, the radar was able to see debris being blown into the air and able to see that there was actually a tornado producing this damage.
And that's what this product is. Let me. I'm going to look here at a different. That's Dover. Not much. That's the closer one. This is the farther one away. This one's a little bit closer, so it's not really picking up much there on that, which is good.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, not seeing a clear sign.
Right. We know in Kent County and in Dover there was damage. We've seen the damage. We're sending a crew down there right now, and we saw what was on the radar. And so the good news is we're not seeing that clearly here, which is helpful. But doesn't mean there's not damage, power outages, and those types of things around the area. But that's a good point there. It's basically, right now, here's where we're looking. It's approaching the boardwalk as we speak.
Right.
Fresh lightning strike there. You got a couple more minutes.
You got the Garden State Parkway right there. So anybody traveling up and down there, if you obviously you're not watching while you're traveling on it, but if you know somebody who's going to be in the area, now's the time to let them know, and hopefully they can.
Hopefully they do. I mean, it's really hunker down time now and let this storm pass on by. This is going to be one of the bigger storms you've seen in this area in a while with this strong. We've had some big storms, but when all the ingredients are into play, this one I think you're going to remember with all the lightning, the heavy rain, the gusty winds, the shelf
and
cloud.
we had the confirmed tornado down there in Cape May just last month, and that was from a funnel cloud that moved over land.
Right.
A little bit of damage down there.
Yeah, that was that one that we tracked again coming off of the bay in Kent County.
Correct.
Rolled across a very big picture of the waterspout, and then did that damage. It, fortunately, like you said, dissipated when it went over land. Right. A little bit of damage there, but that's the warning remains in effect. The warning is up until 7:30. I'm sure they're going to take that down because this storm, the threat of that tornado is going to be off the shore probably in the next 5 minutes at least.
So they've updated the tornado warning now where it's not purple anymore.
Right.
So whatever funnel cloud was over the water over the bay, if there was a spotter on that, maybe they were able to confirm that the funnel lifted, so it wasn't on the ground as it moved across Cape May Point. There.
Yeah, but we still have it's over Wildwood right now. Diamond Beach. This is the area that we're watching for the most likely rotation there. So I mean, really, folks, I'm not tracking it out for you because it's in real time. I mean, it's over your area within the next minute or so. Behind it, what I do want to do is if this is moving at 45 miles per hour, which it is, let me show you the radar over the last couple of hours. Let me do a reverse track and tell you how long it's going to be and when you're going to be in the clear. So I'm going to stop this radar. I'm going to use this what we call the distance tool, and I'm going to go backwards. So let's get to about there. So let's say around 7:45, let's just say 8 o'clock. Once we get to 8 o'clock, we're still tracking some rain. We're probably still going to be tracking some lightning strikes, but this will be out of your area. Okay, that'll be well offshore. But you need to give it at least another half hour. You're listening to us. Hopefully, the advice you gave earlier, just kind of put us off in the distance on your iPad, your phone, whatever it is, your TV. Crank it up, listen, and we're telling you right now that you probably just hang where you are for 30 minutes. This will move across. We'll still continue to track some rainfall, but the good news is what's happening right now, is the threat for the night.
Let's check the tornado warning in northern Cape May.
See if they expired, see what they did with that one.
I think that one remained in effect at least for a little bit longer. So that one's now moving.
That's North Wildwood and Box. That's what we're, right here is what we're being told.
All right, so that's this one here?
Yeah, that's, this video is North Wildwood.
I got you, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, that's interesting. It almost looks like a little. It's hard to tell in the distance in the foreground there, but yeah, not a good situation there for sure. To go back to what you're talking about here, this tornado warning that's in North Cape May County, Corbin City, approaching Skull Landing. This one is set to expire at 7:30
as well.
5 minutes. Let's get a look at that one and see if that has increased or decreased in its intensity. I don't see any rotation up there at the moment, even going between the two radars. That's the radar out of Dover. This is the radar out of Fort Dix. That's why the colors change, because they're different areas. And straight line winds, yes. Heavy rainfall, lightning,
100%.
definitely. But yeah, I mean, this is 60-mile-an-hour winds, no doubt.
Well, and what you're looking at the side of the screen is Ocean City. So you're looking at that storm approaching Ocean City, the sun setting to the west. So
Look how
just
thick.
no light whatsoever.
That's a really interesting point, because based on the light that you have there on the boardwalk, pouring in Wildwood is what we're told right now. Yeah, look at that. So and the lightning, the frequent lightning. But these are very dark skies in many locations there. Are there people coming off the beach? Is that what I'm seeing? People out and about?
Looks like
That's probably not good. It's a boardwalk. They're coming. Okay, well, I hope they get into a car soon. Somewhere, get into a car or a building, preferably in this area, as you have a tornado warning.
I mean, the heavy rainfall, the gusty winds, all of that, just not a recipe for wanting to be outside.
And I'm just gonna, a public service announcement here. If you hear the thunder, you're close enough to be struck. I mean, yeah, you can be struck farther than that, but that means it's within about 5 miles. No doubt they heard the sound of thunder. It's all over the place. So why people were still out on the beach, I have no idea. That's just irresponsible. And hopefully everybody's going to be okay there. But if you hear the sound of thunder, you are close enough to be struck by lightning. Just get inside. Get inside.
Right. So, I mean, it looks like the worst part of that storm is hitting Wildwood right now.
As we speak, right. With the lightning, I think the leading edge of that's now out over, you can see that, out over shore. We look at the velocity data. We're looking at the spin. We're not seeing any spin on this radar that I can see there.
Yeah, it looks, it's really opened up.
Yeah, right. So now it's just the damaging wind threat, the lightning threat. That's a big one. If you're out and about, especially on a beach, or out like that, it's very, very dangerous.
Now, what we very well could see is once that part of the storm moves out over the Atlantic, we might see the spin pick up again.
Yeah, absolutely.
So there may be another funnel
less.
cloud or another water spout that develops just off of Stone Harbor there, because this was the area that moved across southern Cape May County, kind of just near North Cape May, moved up to the east, really an east-northeasterly heading. So we may see that same storm, that same cell rotate again.
Sure. So I'm just looking at the different radars, and we're keeping it on this velocity product to see if there's any of that. We know we have the rain, we know we have the lightning, we know we have the strong winds. This is the radar that's up to the north, and it's looking higher up in the storm. It's not looking right at the surface, but I'm not seeing rotation there. And if I go back to the other one that's in Dover, not seeing rotation there. So we're really looking at a straight line wind event at this point, in my opinion, as what we see here. And quite frankly, a lightning and a flooding threat. That's what I have.
And it's going to be wind, and then the really heavy rainfall, right? So
absolutely.
The wind is actually going to let up.
Yeah, right.
And then it's going to continue to rain, and so the worst of it will be over, but we've got to watch the flash flood threat that'll follow suit.
Yeah, and if we just sample this right here, I mean, over the last 15 minutes, just within this box right here, we have 289 cloud-to-ground lightning strikes. I wouldn't want to be in the tram either. I guess it's safer than standing on a beach, but yeah, these folks need to get in somewhere. You can see how heavily the rain is picked up there in Wildwood. And it's going to be at least another, as we mentioned, another 30 minutes. I said 8 o'clock until this, major threat is over, and that's what we're talking about here, this area. You folks up in Atlantic City and areas to the north in, say, Burlington County, you guys aren't, out of the woods, but you can see just based on the lightning alone that there's a noticeable difference in the intensity of the storm up here than there is right now in Cape May County.
Well, worth noting also, I mean, for anybody watching from Philly, the I-95 corridor points northwest, you're good.
Yeah, your threat is...
You're good here. This is
absolutely
all moving east. The rain's actually ending in Philly.
Absolutely.
Right
so
now.
You're good in that area, and that's an important point that we like to get across as well. We got 7:30 right now. We're looking at the tornado warnings. I'm imagining the National Weather Service, they're going to expire at 7:30. This just came down to, kind of going back to the other big threat we have. I'm reading from National Weather Service, extensive flash flooding occurred in various locations throughout West Norriton and Lower Providence townships in Montgomery County.
Okay.
Many streets not passable and many streams well out of their banks, as expected with
So
this
the
much rain.
ongoing flash flood warnings, those go well past 9.
Yeah, I mean,
Right.
yeah, exactly, and they're all over the place. So if you don't have to travel tonight, even though your severe weather threat is over in Philly, for example, we still have the flash flooding that's around in many spots.
Interesting, you look at these and you've got a flash flood warning down into Cumberland, Atlantic, and parts of Cape May County. Then you also have the one through Montgomery, Bucks, and down to Philly, Delco, and Chester. This is urban flooding, right? So this is all of your flooding that's coming from just the urban, the concrete, the asphalt, all that. It's just not able to absorb all this heavy rainfall. The storm drains, the drains can't handle all of it. So we've got flooding going on here because of that.
Right.
And then you actually had more rain in parts
You want to drive
of
for a second,
Cumberland
Grant?
County.
Sorry, I'm just going to step aside for 2 seconds.
Yeah, I mean, you've got more rain over parts of the southern part of Jersey down, and that's why they're seeing the flooding there, because the ground is not able to absorb all of that water. So you got a couple of different reasons for these flash flood warnings, but still the danger is the same due to the fact that you got water that's not going down, it's going up, right? And you've got the flooding that's ongoing down there. Let's get you back down to the tornado warnings that should be expiring as we speak. So I believe, yeah, those tornado warnings for Cape May, parts of Cumberland, Atlantic County have been allowed to expire. You have an ongoing severe thunderstorm warning for Atlantic, Cape May, and Cumberland County. That severe thunderstorm warning goes until 8 o'clock. And then obviously you've got the flash flooding that's following behind it, because the wind hits first and then the heavy rainfall is going to continue, and then you're going to get the flash flooding.
So we were just kind of looking, we were talking over there about kind of the overall threats and where we stand right now in our region with the threats. Oh yeah, look at that. Yes, that rain's coming down. Yeah, that's Wildwood,
is that
of course.
Wildwood?
Uh-huh, yeah.
It's incredible.
And we have to me, we've moved into the situation now where the flooding has become widespread, the larger threat. We still have a section on the map, as you're seeing, where we have these strong winds. We still have a severe thunderstorm warning, but a majority of that is starting to move out of our area. There are no warnings issued up over here through. They didn't extend the severe thunderstorm warning, did they, up around Atlantic County? No, they didn't.
No,
In fact, they tapered off the tornado watch. You don't even have a tornado watch or a severe thunderstorm watch anymore here along Interstate 95. So by far,
Right, so let me put that up there.
yeah,
There you go.
by far it is the flooding for Philadelphia. Again, no, okay. And then they've taken off. National Weather Service has also eliminated all the severe threats west of I-95, and they shortly will, I'm sure, take this tornado threat down. So we still have the story of the lightning, and we still have the story of the flooding. Those are going to be our biggest impacts I see over the next few hours.
Yeah, so you're flooding, like you said, the flood watch goes until 2 o'clock in the morning.
Right.
So that's going to be an ongoing concern. But a lot of the blues that you see here are the flash floods.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see how the streets are able to handle this and the flooding reports that we're getting out of Montgomery County, right? That's what we were just
Montgomery County, yep.
So we'll see how things are handled there. Usually, obviously, flash flood, just in the name, it happens quickly, can happen over just a matter of minutes. And then it might take an hour or two for that water to go down.
Sure.
So, emergency service will be out there. They'll survey the road, make sure everything's okay, and then we'll drop that warning if the conditions get better.
Absolutely. In terms of the tornado warning, those have all been lifted, right?
Yep.
Tornado
Those
warnings.
are the only thing remaining. The only severe thunderstorm or tornado warning, which we don't have a tornado warning, but the only severe thunderstorm warning is this one in Cape May and Atlantic County.
Okay, so that's it. So you folks, make sure that you are continuing to hunker down. I want you to think about, if you hear the sound of thunder, don't go outside. Let this storm pass entirely, and we're going to be dealing with these flooding events over the next couple of hours. We're going to step aside. Tornado warnings have been lifted. We'll be back on the air here at 8 o'clock with a full hour-long newscast update, and we got a crew going to Dover where we know we had damage.
It's getting dark out there, so stay safe as we go into the darker hours into the overnight, guys.
You bet.